The good news is Joe Nemechek got the caution he needed to get fuel. The bad news is he causes it.
Yeah, he was just running really low in the 3 and 4 there, and I guess he pinched it down a little bit too much. When I saw him, he was on the apron. I said, man, he's coming into pits. And he almost did, but he wasn't doing it intentionally.
He had about a 2.5 lead over second place Kyle Busch.
And he was leading the race as that car came from the grass back out toward the racetrack and swings around this way. The caution comes out, fearing that car might end up in the path of oncoming race cars.
Well, we've seen that happen a couple of times today.
And guys, with 21 cars on the lead lap, I think those guys that were very marginal with fuel, I think you'll definitely see them stay out now because these cautions buy you more fuel.
And they don't have any tires, so unless the driver was just really upset about something, like being real hot or thirsty.
So we're under the 8th caution of the day. It'll be a quickie yellow, which means everybody can pit. Robert Presley will be the free pass car, and he'll take advantage of making the stop on pit road. Most everybody else stays out. The 6 is in as well, and that's Mark McFarland, and he's had a great day. He's the NASCAR Weekly Racing Series national champion. Dodge sponsors that competition, and based on the strength of that, Tommy Baldwin put him in the Hungry Driver's car for a few races, and he's given a good account of himself. Stayed on the lead lap just about all day.
Good job for him, yeah. But you know, we're looking at Kyle Busch leading the race, and I like that position. But also, Larry, I like the 00 because that's the caution he needed to get caught up.
And I like Jamie McMurray back here in 3rd, too, in that 1 car. He's been getting better as this race has went on. And just to remember, the reason these guys couldn't come to pit road to change tires, in the Busch Series, you only have X amount of tires. In the case of this race, 3 sets that you can change under caution. All of the teams have used those 3 sets under caution.
So we'll get set for what we hope is the final restart. And now that fuel is no longer a factor, who do you fellas like down there in the Hollywood Hotel?
Kyle, Dale, we'll start with you. Handicap the field for us here.
Well, Kyle Busch has done a great job all day long. You know, even though he's a young man that hasn't raced here much, he's out front and he's got the good air. But I would watch the 00. This is the 2nd cycle on those first 4 guys' tires. Jason Leffler only has 1 cycle on his, so that may play to his favor.
And another guy picked up about 10 seconds due to this caution flag is Greg Biffle back there in 9th place. Had a pretty fast racer also, but now he can at least see the leader. It might be enough motivation to see him go to the high side and start making some pretty aggressive moves with about 16 laps to go.
Saw the Hollywood Hotel briefly in your picture as the cars came around. Kevin Harvick 2nd currently, and Tony Stewart 4th. How about their chances? A couple of veterans who know how to win.
Yeah, they sure do. You certainly can't count them out. And Jamie Murray has proved that he can win here. Won his first Nextel Cup race here a couple of years ago.
Well, the only thing I'm seeing right now with Tony Stewart, his car didn't look like it's working as good as it was earlier, especially even like Kevin Harvick. He couldn't run down Kyle Busch, so it's going to be really tough for these guys, I think, to make an impact. But as you boys alluded to earlier, 00 and the 60, I think they could be the guys to watch.
I wonder, Darrell. The bad news was Nemechek brought out the caution. The good news is he made his pit stop and came out in 6th. If he didn't abuse those tires too bad, he's been real quick on restarts.
Yeah, I think so. But what Dale's talking about is cycling the tires. Is when you put tires on, you run a few laps, and you ride around under caution, then the tires cool down. And apparently, from what I've heard Dale say, the tires seem to lose a little grip the more times you do that. And so it just seems like it's all playing into the 00's hand if he can capitalize on it.
Tomorrow evening, NASCAR's longest night and the longest major oval track race in the world. It's the Coca-Cola 600. There's defending champ Jimmy Johnson, and you'll see it on Fox. Coverage begins 5 p.m. Eastern Time from Lowe's Motor Speedway. 600 miles, that's about the distance from here to Dover, Delaware, where we're going in 1 week. NASCAR on FX weekend for both the Busch Series and Nextel Cup.
Now you got to be real careful on this restart. You got those hot tires on there. You pick up a lot of rubber and debris. Don't want to spin the tires and get hit from behind or lose the lead because Kevin's right there on the back of Kyle's bumper. See what happens.
Green.
Whoa, Joe's all over the place spinning the tires.
3 wide with a lapped car. The battle is for 2nd. Here comes McMurray on the outside of Harvick.
Boy, I'll say
We've seen this on every restart, though, what a run you can get on the high side off turn 2. He's going to take second place away from Kevin Harvick.
Somebody squirreled up Ashton Lewis. He lost 4 spots in that white car.
Oh, he did. Yeah, got all swirly down there. It was just debris on the tires. Same thing happened to Jason Leffler, too. He slid up the hill.
Looks like Casey Kane in the 38. He has a problem as well, had moved into the top 10.
And let me correct, Nemechek did not pit under the caution.
Right.
That's where he kept back in line.
Right, he came back out in 6th place on those same old tires.
See Casey Kane in 38 coming to pit road here with 13 laps to go. But you know, guys, when I look at Kyle Busch out there in that 5 car, remember he came into this race second in points, 31 points behind leader Martin Truex. And right now, Truex is back in 15th, and David Green, the 3rd place, coming to this race in the points. He's way back in 24.
Boy, look at Joe. Joe just sailed it in on the outside and got around Jason Leffler. What a pass. And Joe wasn't kidding when he said, we can still win this thing. That was huge right there. I didn't think that could be done after you spun all the way down the front straightaway.
Obviously didn't hurt those tires. 12 laps to go. He didn't stop, of course, because he didn't have tires to get, and because with the caution laps, he would have enough fuel to go the distance. Watch the 46, the white car. Slipped up high.
Oh, he gets a little nerf there.
Yep.
Strimmy got in the back of him.
32 car. Hey, what, Kyle Busch, though, he is walking the dog on these guys right now. 11 laps to go. He's almost a second ahead of Jamie McMurray in the 1.
I think what he was doing, now that he's out front, he knows he can make it on fuel. He's turned up the wick a bit.
It's been nearly 20 years since a Hendrick car went to a Busch Series victory lane here at Charlotte.
I know one thing. Every time Jamie McMurray gets behind the wheel of that 1 car, it runs up front. And I don't much care where it is.
Last lap, Busch was quickest by a 1/10 of a second. This time, McMurray is quickest by a 1/10 of a second.
And Joe goes by Kid Rock there to move up another spot.
Yeah, I mean, the last 3 laps, even passing cars, Joe Nemechek in 87, he's been cutting the quickest laps out on the racetrack.
Going to run out of time, I'm afraid.
I don't know. Look how he sails it off into turn 3. Nemechek really picks up there.
He is determined. Somebody has spun this bad boy out, but that's just to let all these other guys back in the game.
You're killing them down there in 3 and 4. Go get them.
His car just flies through the middle, especially right there in the middle of 3 and 4.
9 laps to go. Kyle Busch fastest on that lap. Here comes Nemechek.
There he
under
goes.
Harvick.
He got to run off of 2. Harvick pushed up. Hello, Joe.
3rd
Still
place.
there. Still there. You're clear.
And Leffler's coming as well. Leffler outside of Stewart. This is for 5th.
Yeah, I think what Leffler saw, that's how Joe got around him. He sailed in on the outside. I think Leffler was trying to make the same move.
Yeah, I believe Leffler in the 00, he'll clear Tony Stewart in the 29 as they go off into turn 1. He moves into the 5th position.
Yeah, you know, I think Leffler had a little problem in that restart, Larry, and he fell back, and his car is now just coming back to him.
The saving grace for Kyle Busch may be if Joe Nemechek and Jamie McMurray get racing side by side for second here, and I think they will.
I don't know. The way Joe's going, I don't think anybody's going to hold him up. Father Time's about the only thing that's going to beat him right now, I think.
7 laps to go, though. Joe Nemechek in 87 is 2 seconds behind leader Kyle Busch.
And Busch is pulling away from Jamie McMurray.
Oh, it's me. I love to hear that. Say it again.
He looks into that mirror, and the 1 car's getting smaller and smaller.
There's no greater feeling than 10 to go and you're pulling away.
But the 87 is looming larger and larger. 3rd place, Nemechek closing on McMurray.
And you know, everybody on the tires are on, Larry, they got their hands full. They're trying to get all they can out of their cars right now. And the cars aren't handling all that great.
Hey, whose car's not handling very good right now is Tony Stewart. That 29 car looks like he may lose a position to Greg Biffle in the 60. We're getting a report that his car has actually went way to the loose side.
He's got to hold on to it for 5.5 more laps. Nemechek's there. He's got McMurray in his sights, looks to the high side.
He's going to close ground big time coming down the front here. He gets that run off of turn 4. A lot of momentum.
5 to go.
But where his car's been so good is running around the bottom, not right there in that second groove.
Well, yeah, but I think you got to go to the outside because everybody's protecting the bottom, at least the guys up front are. So you're going to have to make the run on the outside and make the pass.
And that's That's what Kyle Busch needs to see, is McMurray and Nemechek battling like this.
Yeah, here he goes up high. Of course, it's shorter around the bottom, so if you can get back in the gas and with any kind of speed at all, ooh, Joe got loose off of 4 again.
Yeah, the only way that move will make, you've almost got to get that left front fender, that right rear quarter panel before you get to the exit.
Uh-oh, Joe looks like something's, he was wobbling a little bit there, like he was trying to see if he had a problem.
We're out of gas.
Out of gas. I saw him wobbling it around.
Oh, boy, again.
He comes up 4 laps short, and that's with all those cautions that we did run. But you know that has to make Kyle Busch in that 5 car a little bit nervous, as well as Kevin Harvick in the 21. 3 laps to go this time.
$10.
Real easy, bud. 3 to go.
$10 worth of gas going to keep Joe Nemechek from the
quicker than the
shop.
1 car.
That's the other thing Kyle Busch wanted to hear. He's faster than McMurray.
And I'm sure he's doing just what we talked about early on, a little while ago. Posting into the turn, squeezing back in the throttle, and not getting that car upset at all.
When you're the leader, you can definitely save more fuel.
Oh, yeah.
And he may leave here with the series point lead. Kyle came in here 31 points behind.
Oh, we got trouble.
Ashton Lewis got into Lewis.
Rain.
You're on. Keep it. Get on brakes, Pat. Get on brakes.
No caution yet. No caution. He was in the top 10. He was in
Yellow.
9th. Caution is
Keep it coming now.
out.
Just keep it coming.
Now we're past the red flag lap. The red flag lap was 196. We're 2 to go. Remember, the field is frozen right here.
Kyle Busch is the luckiest guy in
I
town
gotta
because not only did he have a decent lead, now he can just put that thing in 4th gear, idle it around for a lap and a half, and go to victory
He
lane.
wants to make sure if he's close on fuel, he don't get that car up on the banking, because when you're on the banking under caution, the fuel will run away from the pickup. If I was him, I'd ride around the apron.
You can weave it to the
last
left
lap.
a couple
Hey,
times
look
to make
at
sure
him.
we get that pickup good and full.
He's worried, I tell you that. It ain't over till it's over. You got to get back around here.
And now that we're on the final lap, here's the replay. Ashton Lewis slipping up into Tony Raines. On the final lap of the race, the driver is unable to receive assistance from any other car, so Kyle Busch cannot get a push. He's got to make it there on his own.
I don't much suspect that Jamie McMurray would give him a push unless it was out of the way.
Here you see all the leaders through 1 and 2 on the bottom of the racetrack down on the apron. We talked about it just a second ago when you heard Lance McGrew telling him, keep the fuel at the pickup, which is over in the right rear corner of the fuel cell. Keeps weaving it back and forth. He knows this race will not restart. We only have a half lap to go. But Mike, as you said, he has to come here on his own.
Kyle Busch will get his second
I'll be
win.
showing
and
him on
his
TV
10th
for you, but he's on the flat.
Top
Everything's
10
cool.
finish.
Give it a couple shakes. Fill that pickup up.
12 straight races running at the finish, 4 poles, most laps led, most races led.
And what he's telling him, get that pickup filled up. It's got a box inside the fuel cell that the fuel is captured in. And he wants to be sure he keeps what fuel's in there in that box.
Oh, man. Right here, I'd just gas it and go. Just go. Just hit the pedal. Just go.
I wouldn't. I'd be taking off my helmet.
The
I'd be taking off
tension
my
would be
gloves.
too much.
Nice job.
Here he comes. 2 wins in the last 3 races for Kyle Busch, and the Lowe's Chevrolet at Lowe's Motor Speedway wins the CarQuest 300 with our CarQuest cam on board. How much synergy can you get?
We got it all, baby. Nice job, guys. That really was. Good pit strategy. Great drive.
Kyle Busch becomes the 31st driver to win a Busch Series race at Lowe's Motor Speedway.